Watch this little 1-minute clip, and then let's talk afterwards about this farmer, Scott Brown.
Scott Brown said they are struggling to afford the cost that is needed just to take care of the farm.
The prices that we're getting now are prices like they were when we were children, and what it costs for us to farm is astronomical now. I mean, the price of a combine when we were kids was, you know, in the 20,000s, and now it's 100,000.
I farm 800 acres by myself. I can't afford any help. I farm with paid-for equipment. All my tractors are 50 years old, and I can't hardly make this deal work. How's the guys farming 5 and 10,000 with 20 hands and $1 million combines and $1 million drills going to make it work?
But for Brown, there is something that rounds out all the issues that they are facing: the tariffs.
I think the tariffs are the ice cream on the cake of a perfect storm. When you try to sell a product, okay, U.S. soybeans leaving New Orleans without the tariff to China are cheaper than Brazilian soybeans at the current market. But when you put the tariff on top of them, Brazilian beans are cheaper.
So how can this be fixed?
In the short term, they have no choice but to mail us a check. I don't know a farmer that likes the check program. Nobody wants to take taxpayer dollars, but nobody wants to go broke. Nobody wants to lose everything.
That sounds a lot like socialism, Scott, and we just don't do that in this country. Now, we don't help people, Scott, but I'm going to do this for you. I'm going to pray for you, Scott. Dear God, thoughts and prayers. Amen. You're going to get the same bullshit that you give little children, God's children, when they're fucking murdered and identified by their dental records. Thoughts and prayers. Scott, there's just nothing we can do for you, man. We just can't. This sounds like a mental health issue. That's what it sounds like. It's actually not the farm equipment because, you know, the farm equipment doesn't move itself, Scott. It's actually people that do it. So it actually sounds like it's your problem. I mean, I would probably we'll get some help. But we had to cut that funding for mental health, Scott, because, you know, we really have to balance the budget. You know, the autistic kids that can't get their help because the Department of Education was dismantled. You didn't seem to care about them. Women that have a 52% increased mortality, like in Texas because Roe versus Wade was overturned, you didn't really care about them. Officers that died the next day. The officers that have long-term disabilities that were beaten with American flagpoles on January 6th, you know, because the white man's a patriot. Somehow you didn't care about them. Don't care about people getting due process. You really don't care about anybody except for yourself. Don't care about people losing 16 million losing Medicaid, Medicare. Don't care about food or SNAP benefits being taken away where people are starving. You rejoice the Gulf of America because, you know, you're a patriot, you're America, you got guns. Yeehaw! So thoughts and prayers. Shove your cross right up your ass, Scott. Love thy neighbor as thyself. And all you have done is given a shit about yourself, Scott. It is who you are. It is who you've always been. Me, me, me. The party of selfishness. You literally only voted for yourself. And every 4 years, you ask yourself the same question. First, are you Republican? Check, check, check. Own the libs, baby. I want universal health care. I want you to have a living wage. I want you to be able to sell your crops. I want you to be able to retire. I want you to be able to sell your farm to your generation. But you know the difference is you couldn't vote for the black woman because you're racist, Scott. You voted for the modern day Klan leader because he was the white man. Felonies, insurrection, rape, sexual assault, white supremacy, very fine people. Grab them by the PUSSY, going into girls' locker rooms, going on Epstein Island. No, there's nothing I can do. Sorry. Hey, no one's perfect, but my farm, give me free money. Thoughts and prayers, Scott. Hey, thoughts and prayers. I'm sure if you just pray hard enough, Scott, Jesus will send you money because that's how thoughts and prayers work, Scott. So how about this, Scott? I have a deal for you. When you get off your ass and actually do something to save the lives of innocent women and children and men that are shot by schools, then we'll have a conversation. Then maybe one day you will actually hear the word of God talking to you instead of what you want to hear. How about that, Scott? Does that sound like a plan? Or is that just a bridge too far? Because then you're going to have to get a shit about somebody else. You have yourself a white day, Scott. Thoughts and prayers.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode. I hope you all are doing great wherever you are watching this video from. So some of the palm-colored farmers from Arkansas, they voted out of self-interest. They voted for deportation, and right now they're crying out because they're almost going bankrupt. The Orange Man's policies is affecting them, and they're the ones who voted for this, because if you check out the analytics, majority of the people from Arkansas, they voted for the Orange Man, and now is a time for them to embrace the consequences of their very own actions, because people tried to warn them earlier that if you do this, it will affect you, but they didn't listen. So let's dive in straight to the video. Kindly give the video a thumbs up and also subscribe if you're coming across Afrojudy's channel for the very first time.
Good morning. What do they say? Racism is expensive.
5 or 30% of the farmers in this country, if they don't do something, it has to be done, and it's not just here, it's everywhere.
Farmers are making a cry for help before it's too late. Countless farmers gathered to speak to representatives of Arkansas leaders to share the urgency that something needs to be done about the current state of farming. Jake Tester was at the meeting and now joins us in the studio with more. Jake.
Many farmers spoke up at the meeting, and the message was straightforward. They need help, and they need it now.
Mr. Trump, you looked at me, sir, and you said, I love you. Mr. Trump, I need to see the fruit of your love.
Farmers in crisis align way out the door of the Woods Chapel Baptist Church in Brooklyn as hundreds of farmers from not only Northeast Arkansas, but from across the state came to voice their concerns about the current state of farming. Representatives from U.S. Congressman Rick Crawford, U.S. Senator Tom Cotton, and U.S. Senator John Boozman's offices were in attendance to hear those concerns. Among those farmers in attendance was a farmer in Woodruff County, Chris King. He told me this was his 39th harvest, and he has never seen it as bad as this.
And I've never been as worried as I am now about whether or not my kids and grandkids will be able to carry on.
For King, the main problem starts with the fact that they can't sell for profit.
I just would like to see somebody help us get our markets back. We need our exports, and we just need to be paid for what we do. And that's not happening. And we're in real trouble.
But that is not the only issue. King's wife, Melissa King, and farmer in Biggers, Arkansas, Scott Brown, said they are struggling to afford the cost that is needed just to take care of the farm.
The prices that we're getting now are prices like they were when we were children, and what it costs for us to farm is astronomical now. I mean, the price of a combine when we were kids was, in the 20,000s, and now it's 100,000.
I farm 800 acres by myself. I can't afford any help. I farm with paid-for equipment. All my tractors are 50 years old, and I can't hardly make this deal work. How's the guys farming 5 and 10,000 with 20 hands and $1 million combines and $1 million drills going to make it work?
But for Brown, there is something that rounds out all the issues that they are facing: the tariffs.
I think the tariffs are the ice cream on the cake of a perfect storm. When you try to sell a product, okay, U.S. soybeans leaving New Orleans without the tariff to China are cheaper than Brazilian soybeans at the current market. But when you put the tariff on top of them, Brazilian beans are cheaper.
So how can this be fixed?
In the short term, they have no choice but to mail us a check. I don't know a farmer that likes the check program. Nobody wants to take taxpayer dollars, but nobody wants to go broke. Nobody wants to lose everything. Long term, we have to have options, markets, and places to sell our product.
Guarantee you they not getting no bailout. They showed us, didn't it?
Hey, Arkansas farmers, Arkansas, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You all voted to allow all of this to happen. You all raised against China. You all raised against the rest of the world. But you want China to buy your soybeans and your whatever the hell you produce. Yeah, the people that you despise, you want them to buy shit from you, right? That's not how the world works. And since you hate socialism, no money for you, because socialism means taxpayers' money is shared, but you don't want that. So I suggest, Miss Arkansas farmer, that you pull yourself up by the bootstraps. That's what you wanted everybody else to do. And if you think the countries that you despise want to buy your produce and your hogs and your chicken and your soybeans, they're not buying American products because of your hate-filled MAGA agenda.
FAFO is still going strong, y'all. I live in Arkansas, an agricultural, very red, full-on MAGA state. Sarah Huckabee Sanders is our governor, and the state has gone to the felon-in-chief every time he has run for president. But racism is hella expensive, as white Arkansas farmers are now finding out. They are reaping what they have sown, pun intended.
Well, good evening to you. We begin tonight with hundreds of struggling Arkansas farmers pleading for emergency federal funding amid a farm economy crisis.
Oh, so they're asking for handouts. Okay.
Today in Brookland, in northeast Arkansas, and has more tonight. Andrew. Almost everything that could go wrong for Arkansas farmers did go wrong this year. And it's so bad that many are facing bankruptcy or even the closure of farms that have been passed down for generations. A dismal global market and plunging commodity prices mean there's little to no hope of breaking even for many farmers, even as sky-high input costs rise because of inflation and now tariffs. Not to mention bad weather earlier in the year.
This time last year, the rice price was about 40% higher than it is now. The inputs costs have gone up, so after a horrible year last year where most farmers in Arkansas Delta lost money, this year's going to be worse.
Though President Trump's big, beautiful bill provided a much-needed update to safety net subsidies for farmers, they won't see those federal dollars until late next year, by which time some have projected that as many as 1/4 or even 1/3 of Arkansas farmers will face bankruptcy or be forced to leave the business amid the crisis the American ag economy
Oh, well.
is in. It's already taken its toll this year. Today, Arkansas farmers gathered to share their struggles with staffers from the state's congressional delegation, pleading for Arkansas lawmakers on Capitol Hill and the governor to convince President Trump to provide emergency funding to help them make it to next year.
Pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
Right now to make it through this year.
If there's no emergency funding this year, there will be 1 out of 3 farmers will file bankruptcy.
Couple of things I want to point out about that story. First of all, if you notice in that meeting, all the farmers were white. Arkansas does have black farmers, but like black farmers in this nation, historically, they were denied much of the government assistance that white farmers have enjoyed and have grown rich off of for generations. So black farms, even though they too are being affected by the economy, have had to become over the years much more self-sufficient and reliant on their community. Another thing I want to point out is that Arkansas farmers were also part of that class action lawsuit that was filed by white farmers from all across the nation because they objected to the government offering a $4 billion stimulus package to black farmers and farmers of color to help them in 2021. And the basis for their lawsuit, they claimed that helping black farmers and farmers of color was unconstitutional and reverse discrimination. These folks are getting exactly what they voted for due to their racism and bigotry. And I am so glad for it. And I do hope that each and every one of them files bankruptcy, have to sell all or most of their land for pennies on the dollar. And I hope that black farmers are able to swoop in and purchase up much of that land. This is their just desserts.
Well, guys, welcome back. Majority of the palm-colored farmers, they voted for Orange Man, and now the policies are affecting them. Not only the Arkansas farmers, even the Nebraska farmers have been crying out. The Montana farmers, the Texas farmers, like majority of these red states, they voted to support the Orange Man policies, not knowing that one day these policies are going to affect them. The tariffs that were to be implemented will affect them. They didn't know about that. People really tried to warn them earlier before that all these things are going to affect you. Please don't vote for this Orange Man. They voted for him, I think, only because to punish the black farmers. But right now, guess who is crying out? Guess who is begging for help? Even the soybean farmers are pleading with the Orange Man to talk with China so that China can start purchasing their products because harvesting season is approaching. But all these people, they backed up all this. They voted for this. They knew very well that maybe perhaps one day these things are going to benefit them. But if you check the benefits that the palm colored people are getting as compared to the black farmers, it's massive. Black farmers are not getting a lot of benefits as compared to the palm colored farmers. And to your surprise, these palm colored farmers are even asking the black farmers the reason as to why they're not complaining about the policies, the Orange Man's policies, because the palm colored people, especially the farmers, are feeling the weight of the policies. And imagine people really try to warn them. They even voted for deportation because majority of the workforce there were from the immigrants. But now, even some of the palm-colored people are going ahead to report these immigrants to ICE. I watched that video today, was like, what? And it was a palm-colored woman. And she was even bragging online that, you know what, I'm the one who reported these people, those people from South Korea. I'm the one who reported them to the ICE. Imagine such an audacity to report those workers to the ICE, then you come and start bragging online that you did it after all the 300 plus South Koreans were arrested by the ICE. How do you think those people are feeling? And this is what even the farmers voted for. They knew very well that their workers are immigrants, and majority of them were undocumented. And to your surprise, even those other immigrants who are getting arrested, some of them have papers which allows them to stay in the United States, but I think maybe they just want to do away with the immigrants in the United States. And it's something which is happening in a majority of the European countries. In Australia, I was watching how they were demonstrating. They don't want immigrants there. In the UK, they were doing the same. In Poland, they were doing the same. Like in France, they were doing the same. So they want to do away with the immigrants. And this is telling you that the West is collapsing. The Western leaders fear that one day maybe the black people or some of the immigrants might take over. And this is the main reason as why they want to do away with the immigrants, because all these protests which has been going on, that we don't want immigrants in our country. And imagine those who build the countries, the workforce which were used there were the forced labor, the immigrant labor, and even the black labor was used to build United States. And right now, ICE is busy detaining and deporting the immigrants. And at the same time, Orange Man is realizing that farming is collapsing in the United States. Agriculture is collapsing in the United States, and it's like the backbone of the United States. Because if it collapses right now, where will people get food? Because majority of the farmers always supply food to the source, but will Orange Man be able to get other goods from other countries the way he's trying to implement the tariffs? And you've seen whatever other countries, especially the European countries, are trying to do, like they canceling any trade deal with the United States just because of how Orange Man is behaving. Imagine United States used to be a land which people really admired, which so many people really wanted to go and visit or maybe to stay there. But right now, things has changed since Orange Man got into the office. People are even scared of going to the United States. And yes, I must say that I feel for the farmers, but again, on the other side, they voted for this. People really tried to warn them. Right now, they are nuts because they didn't listen to whatever other people were telling them. This is what comes in when you vote out of self-interest. So next time before voting, always make sure that you do good research on the leader you want to vote to. And also, you must learn to listen to other people who tells you that if you vote for this man or if you vote for this woman, later on in future you might embrace the consequences of your very own action. They didn't want to vote for Kamala, they only voted for Orange Man. People want them, they never listened, and right now it's just concept of thoughts and prayers. So guys, do you have any sympathy for Arkansas farmers? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much guys for watching this video. I honestly appreciate your massive love and support. Kindly give the video a thumbs up and also comment down below. I'll honestly appreciate it. Until next time, see you on my next episode. Ciao.